Hello everybody, this is a November 2019 budget Cyberse deck profile. So I'm happy to do a video of this deck because this is the deck that got me back into the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! I had been playing on and off for a while, but with the Link Strike starter deck and the Transcode, Power Code structure and starter decks, I really came back into the game a little more seriously. And this video is pretty much for people who bought those starter and structure decks but just need a few additional cards to make the deck function decently and to fill in the gaps. This is budget, so no sign-up mining. None of the expensive Cyberse monsters from Fist of the Gadgets. This is an extra linking strategy too, so you want to be spamming the board. A lot of the cards in this deck have to do with just filling up the monster zones with monsters and materials to be used for the materials for the extra deck. And you probably won't be extra linking in one turn. You can maybe get 3 or even 4 pieces of the extra link in one turn, but there are some cards in this deck dedicated to stalling and stopping your opponent from playing a little bit, just to hopefully get around back to your turn to finish the extra link. So 3 Balancer Lord. This is an extra normal summon. Just a lot of these cards, you just want to be having one more material on the field. So this card works well with Rom Claudia and Lady Debug too. But whether a special summon from the hand or normal summon, just dump your hand onto the field. That's pretty much the point of this deck. 3 Backup Secretary, which you pretty much always want to see in your hand because it's a free extender that just gets you one more monster on the field. Same thing, Cyberse Converter, very similar, just get you one more monster on the field. Clock Wyvern, this card works upon normal or special to get you one more token. So for your materials, so extra normal summon with Balancer Lord on Clock Wyvern, or just bring it back with something like Monster Reborn to get you one more material for your extra deck plays. We have 2 C Archiver, which is similar to Backup Secretary or Cyberse Converter, but works in the graveyard as well. So just a little bit more accessibility into your special summons. 1 Lady Debug, which doesn't really contribute to the extra linking too much, but it can be nice to just set up your hand for the next turn. Link Slayer, so this card is a free material on the field if you control no monsters, and also is your backer removal. 1 Sim Tablier, so this card is a level 5, so it's not going to be normal summon too much. Also has a downside of being, you have to special summon it to a zone that your linked link monster points to, so it's got to be a link monster pointing to another link monster, and then that second link monster has to be the one that you special this to, but it does recur from your graveyard as well as special itself in the same play. Doscaper, so this card, you normal summon it, go into Link Rebo, then get a free material. Link Infraflyer, which is pretty much a Crusadia monster, just special summoning to a zone that your link monster points to. Storm Cypher and Rom Claudia. So I just wanted a few more monsters in here. These don't contribute to the extra link too well, but they are good normal summons that you can use with, especially Rom Claudia, but that you can use with Balancer Lord or Signet Optimization. So a lot of these cards special summon from the hand, and I just wanted a couple more cards that you are strong normal summons to just for a little bit of, you know, recurring, or just to beat over your opponent's monsters. Just cards that you normal summon with optimization especially, and they did come out in those start and structure decks too. And 3 Veiler for our last monster. So this is just to interrupt the opponent, just so you can have a little bit of a chance if you don't complete the extra link. For spells, 3 Desires. So you want to see that plus. The more cards in your hand is better, because a lot of these cards are just free special summons of themselves. So just more of those can't hurt for your materials for the extra deck. 3 World Legacy Succession, so you just want to have as many pieces on the field, just use them as material, then bring them right back to your zone that your link monster points to. 2 One-Time Passcode, just a free material, again, the token. It's a level 4 too, so you can actually use this card for this token for your L phase. Sign Up Backdoor for a little bit of searching and dodging. 2 Optimization, so this is for an extra normal summon, also shuts down the damage step with your Code Talker monster, so plenty of Code Talkers in this deck. 1 Monster Reborn, same thing as the World Legacy Successions. You just want to be seeing more monsters. Upstart Goblin for your draw power. And then the last 2 cards in the main deck are traps. They are 2 Signet Conflict. So you just need a little bit of defense too. In addition to the Veilers, you just want to have some way to stop your opponent from doing something, just in case your main strategy doesn't work out. These are Omni Negates and plenty of Code Talkers to special summon from the extra deck. So on to the extra deck, we start with Code Talker. So this is actually a generic link monster that can go in probably a lot of decks, but it's the easiest Code Talker to go into for your Silent Conflict, but also you're pretty much going to be linking this card into a higher link rating Link monster. That's what I find myself doing. Transcode Talker, so this card brings back your Link monster, so you can put it, in this bottom left slot right here and bring back something like a Honeybot for your middle slot. Also protects your co-link monsters and buffs up attack. Xcode Talker, this card is mainly the arrows is the focus of this card. It can be the bottom left, the middle, or the bottom right slot, but also shuts down your opponent's zones. So Power Code Talker, this card is actually quite good. For the extra link, only the middle, but stops your negates an opponent's effect. Monster effect also can gain a lot of attack as a quick effect too, so this is actually a decent one to go into if you just have one extra deck play to go into. Not a bad card. Power Code Talker. Shooting Code Talker, this card attacks multiple times and helps you draw cards, but this is just the opposite arrows as Transcode Talker, so good for the bottom right slot. We have a Talkback Lancer for one of two monsters that points just down, the other one being Link Rebo. So Talkback Lancer will get you back a Code Talker in the graveyard. Also is a pretty decent beater for a Link 1. Link Rebo is for your Dotscaper and just helps you get that Dotscaper into the graveyard to be brought back. L-Phase, which can have a lot of attack points and is already a beater for a Link 2, but also has a good floating effect. Update Jammer, which shuts down the damage step and also lets your monster attack twice. Honeybot for the middle slot, just protecting the monsters that it points to. Tri-Gate Wizard, which can be in any slot in the bottom, not the extra zones. You're probably not co-linking this card 3 times, especially not in one turn. If you can manage to stall one turn, you can maybe get its negation effect live with 3 co-links. We also have a Backup Supervisor. So this card is actually a generic Link 2 that doesn't point up. So you can put this card in the extra zone and it won't defeat the purpose of the extra link because it doesn't point up and give your opponent a zone. And there are 3 backup secretaries in this build the way I have it here. So you can either get a bonus effect off of this card or special summon backup secretary from the deck. Then the last 3 monsters don't have to do with the extra linking strategy. Trizbana, Bomber Dragon, and Zeraboros. So all of these cards are just good generic Link monsters to go into pretty much during any time in the game. If your main strategy doesn't work, you can blow up back row, blow up the main monster zones, or banish everything. And all of these cards are beaters. They're actually quite just generic toolbox Link monsters. There is a little bit of a distinction between these cards. These two, Bomber Dragon and Zeraboros, their effects trigger if any Link monster has a monster special summon to its zone that it points to. This one has to be to the zone that Trizbana specifically points to, so harder to pull this card off. Its effect, especially during your opponent's turn, but these are just good, solid other options to go into. And that's pretty much the November 2019 budget Cyberse Talker deck profile. Thanks for watching. Have a good one.